Ready? 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Plays and Fades YouTube channel. I'm your host, Gordo Gambles, and I'm not wearing my Bills jersey.
No, you're not.
What is going on?
That feels a lot better, eh?
Yep, a lot better. You know what? Coming back off of a wonderful week for me and us as Bill fans. I mean, huge dub, and honestly, if you look at the slate, should happen again facing the Houston Texans. But we're not here to talk about that.
Whoa. Might need a clown face on that one.
Yeah. And I am here joined by this beauty of a man, Kirode, and we're here to break down another week of NFL action.
Yes, sir.
We're coming off another huge week of hitting some amazing plays, some amazing fades. Insert the Dirk Nowitzki fadeaway here. And we're here to do it again. Let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right into it. Quick video for you guys. Let's try to get started. Quarterback position. Who are we liking as a pay-up option for this week?
All right. We both know we've been waiting to say this for a while. We've said it a few times, and we're going to say it again. We like Josh Allen a whole lot this week. I mean, an $8,000 price tag, which is very high. But how many points did you put up this past week? Like 30 plus? 40 points.
QB1.
Yeah, exactly. So put up 40 points this past week against Washington. And this week, the matchup is almost even better, right? In this Houston Texans team, we know that they're not particularly good. We know that they give up a good amount of points. This is a matchup made in heaven for us as Bills fans. And it's one that we are going to take advantage of on DraftKings. What more is there to say? $8,000, it'll be worth it.
I mean, they're 17-point favorites for a reason. I think it goes out there, puts up another 40-point weekend. Do not overthink it. He will do great this weekend for you.
Now, for a quarterback that we like at a bit of a lower price tag, who are we looking at this week?
I mean, this week it's hard to ignore Baker Mayfield sitting at a price tag of 6.2K. He's facing someone in Minnesota, and this game will more than likely be a shootout. A very, very high-scoring game. He's got OBJ back. He's got his favorite weapon in the game, and I think he's be able to put up a very, very good score this weekend. He's going to go overlooked. There's a lot of decent quarterbacks at this 6K price range that we also like. Someone like Prescott comes to mind, but I think that Mayfield is going to have a really good chance of exceeding his value this week. I think Minnesota is a very shaky defensive team. It's going to be a high-scoring game, and let's leave it at that. I think he does very, very well this week. Like I said, someone like Prescott will also be a really good pay-up option, and even someone over here like Russell Wilson facing the San Francisco defense. He's been on fire recently. I think he keeps it up. But who is someone that we're going to be fading this weekend at the quarterback position?
One quarterback that we don't necessarily like as much this week is going to be Big Ben. I mean, Roethlisberger has not been exceeding expectations exactly this year, and there's a couple of receivers that are questionable as of right now, so maybe if you're making your lineup later in the week and they're there, you might like him a little bit more, but as of right now, we're not sure he's going to have all his receivers. He's going up against a decent defense in the Green Bay Packers, and obviously it's Big Ben. He's not getting you any rushing points, that's for damn sure, so just not somebody we love a lot this week.
Moving to a category filled with people we love, however, though, is going to be the running back position. The very first core play of the day is going to be someone like Antonio Gibson, sitting at a price tag of 6.1K. I mean, he's facing that Atlanta defense. We talk about it every single week. Going to be a higher scoring game, and I mean, he's going to go overlooked. He's one of the best running backs in the league, and he's been vultured a few touchdowns this year by McKissick. And I think that this is a week for him to bounce back. Good matchup, lots of opportunities, and I think he's going to go really, really overlooked at this 6K price range.
Next guy that we like a lot is Montgomery at $5,800. I mean, he's going up against the Detroit defense this week that isn't very strong. And in his first week as the starting quarterback, Justin Fields struggled a little bit. And that means that Chicago is most likely going to go to their run game a bit more this week, which means that he's going to have a higher ceiling than maybe he would in another week because he could get more touches on the ball here. So that combination of factors makes us like him a lot this week, especially at that $5,800 price tag.
I mean, if you look up higher in the slate, you also have someone like Derrick Henry, who I think will be the highest scoring running back this week if you do want to pay up. I mean, he's facing someone in the Jets. He will have positive game script on his side. He will run the ball a lot. I do also think that if Dalvin Cook plays, he has a very good chance of living up to his price tag as well. You have to be careful, though, about Chuba Hubbard this week. I know everyone's going to gravitate to him, but he's going to get his touches stolen by Royce Freeman out here, so that is a risky play as well. But someone we're going to completely fade, even more than Hubbard this week, is going to be someone in Miles Sanders. Tell us a bit about him.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Sanders play this past Monday night, and he had a grand total of 2 attempted runs. I mean, he put up 27 yards, which is okay, but he only had 2 runs, which isn't a great look for your running back if you're going to be paying $6,400 for him. And this upcoming week, he's going up against the Kansas City Chiefs, which means that another factor here is that they could be down pretty early in this game, which means that maybe they're going away from the run game a little bit more than they would be otherwise.
Now moving along to the wide receiver position, and like we said, a lot of running backs we like, so we will be paying down here before I get you started on anything. I do think that the Buffalo stack of either having someone like Cole Beasley in there or someone like Emmanuel Sanders with Allen in a very, very high scoring game for the Bills, I think that is a great stack as well. But someone we're liking even more than that is going to be DJ Moore. Tell us a bit about him.
Yeah, DJ Moore, price tag of $6,600 this week, and he's going up against the Dallas defense. The Dallas defense, we know, is okay against the run game, but their pass defense has been quite suspicious, to say the least. So we expect this guy to be able to get those receptions. And another factor here is that CMC, he's out, right? Which means that Carolina is probably going to be turning to their passing game a little bit more than the rushing game because they won't be carried by the likes of CMC. So this guy could get a lot of targets this week, could get a lot of receptions with that Dallas defense. So awesome play this week at 6,600.
I mean, he is Sam Darnold's favorite receiver this year. We've seen that, and he's put up a lot of big scoring games, and I think he's going to put up another this weekend. Someone else you could look forward to be someone like OBJ. He was the clear favorite target for Baker Mayfield in week 1, and rightfully so. He's the best receiver in that receiving group by a mile. He's going to be a great option there as well. You can also look at someone like Pittman Jr. We're seeing a price like a 5.4K. I think that the Colts will be able to do really well. This game will be a close one, so a lot of pass attempts there as well. And you cannot ignore the Arizona Cardinals' dynamic trio. Is it more than a trio? Of Hopkins, Moore, and Kirk. So a lot of good options there. But someone we're going to be fading this week is going to be the Stars in Tennessee. Both Julio Jones and AJ Brown are going to be fades for us this week. Tell us more.
Yeah, I mean, we have Julio Jones at $6,500 and Brown down at $6,300. So right around the price tag of the guys that we talked about right before in Moore and in OBJ, but we don't like them nearly as much this week. I mean, they got almost no targets near the end of the game this past week, and this week we kind of expect it to be more of the Derrick Henry show. I mean, this guy has been destroying worlds out there in that run game, which means that these guys are not getting targeted as much in these key critical situations. So two guys that we think there are better options at the same price range, so you might as well take the guys who we think are going to be a bigger part of their offense.
Yeah, they're facing the Jets as well, so negative game script for the passing game. It's going to be a run-heavy game later in the afternoon there. So let's move right along. Tight end position. Kelsey's up top. You have the Darren Wallers as well this week. You have the Travis Kelce's up there, you have the George Kittles, you have the TJ Hawkinsons, but I think it's really easy to find some value this week. One of the first value plays we're going to be choosing is going to be someone like Evan Ingram sitting at 3K. I mean, with Shepard out, Slayton out, there's a lot of core pieces missing for that already a bit questionable Giants offense, so Jones is going to need someone to throw to, and on his very first start in week 3, Ingram got a lot of targets, so I think he does really, really well, and I think he exceeds that 3K price tag. Someone else we like at that mid-range price tag that we think would be a bit lower owned this week is going to be Robert Tonyan. Tell us a bit about him.
Yeah, I mean, last year we saw he was the guy who was targeted the most in red zone possessions. He's a big part of that offense, and last week he didn't put up very many points, which means that chances are his ownership's a bit down this week, and that's your opportunity to make some money and beat some other people's lineups because of him. $4,500 price tag is great for him, and the Steelers have been struggling a little bit this year, so we definitely think he has a great opportunity here this week to get you some value, especially with that low ownership.
And I mean, you cannot go wrong with Kelsey up top. We do think that the stack of Goff and Hawkinson might be also pretty good to have that tight end position, but someone we're going to be fading this week could be Mike Gesicki. I mean, he's had an awful start to the year, and having Brissett there as well is not going to help him at all either, so we're going to be staying away from Mike Gesicki yet again.
So as you said, a few stacks we like this week. We mentioned OBJ and Baker Mayfield. There's one. You got Goff, Hawkinson.
Moving right along to the defense and special teams. The first team we're going to target is a low value option. It's going to be someone in the Colts.
A low value option.
It's going to be somewhat of a GPP high upside option in the Colts. I mean, it's sitting at a price tag of 2.7K facing that Miami offense. Again, no Tua there. We do think they're going to struggle against the Colts defense, and we saw the Colts defense put up 7 points against a much more potent offense in the Titans. So I do think they're able to do well and live up to that 2.7K price tag.
Yeah, moving on to a bit of higher price tags here. The Bills, the Bears, and the Packers, we all like this week because we think that they're going to win the games pretty easily. I mean, the Bills playing Houston, they have the highest price tag of any of the defense and special teams, but we think that that makes sense. And same thing for the Bears going up against Detroit and the Green Bay Packers, who are playing Pittsburgh, whose offense has been struggling. So those are three teams that we like if you want to go on the higher end of the price range, especially with the Bills up there at the top. Then moving on to the fade of the week for defense and special teams, that will be the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers this week are playing a team in Dallas that offensively have looked pretty strong this year. So we don't think they're really going to be worth it here at that price tag of $3,400. And if you're going to pay that much for a team, you might as well go with the Packers or another team that's around there who is more likely to win in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that there. We have a lot of options we really do like up top. I mean, quarterbacks this week, you can't go wrong with a lot of the guys up top there as well. Same thing with tight ends. So it's going to be really important to pay down at those positions like wide receiver, like defense and special teams in order to get those high upside targets this week. Again, we do like the Buffalo stack. Josh Allen up top. I also think there's a ton of value in DJ Moore. And that whole game as a whole, that Dallas-Carolina game will be a really, really high-owned game of mine. CeeDee Lamb and Prescott's also a very, very good stack there. But nope, that'll do it for us. Make sure to check out our Instagram and Twitter for any more questions you may have. Make sure to subscribe to this video as well. We're doing a lot of other content for UFC and other sports in there, so make sure to subscribe, leave a like to this, and yeah, let's make some money.